Welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with investingnews.com. Australian exploration and development company Galan Lithium has just announced a partnership with Chemphys Chemical for a potential lithium offtake arrangement from its Hombre Muerto West project in Argentina. Joining me to discuss what this means for the company is Galan's Managing Director, JP Vargas de la Vega. Hi, JP.
Good morning, Marilyn.
So let's first talk about, maybe just provide a little bit more detail about this new agreement that you just announced about your partnership with Chemphys Chemical.
Yeah, no. Well, we are delighted, most importantly, to have signed an offtake agreement. While it's today's a memorandum of understanding in which we both parties agree that we're going to be working towards the final documents. That it has a time period and that we're going to be working. It's not a long period anyway. We what we do like about what we have is that is the underlying message behind things. You know, if you look at the broadly lithium industry today, everyone is running away from lithium because lithium prices have been depressed. There's a big concern about where is the lithium going to go. About the oversupply and so on. But the strong message that we want to tell the market is that we believe that this is a short-term view, mainly because we have partnered to get a prepayment for production of our phase one that comes with funding. So in the West, not many funds are ready to deploy funding to finance lithium projects that in the past, that's something that you were getting left, right, center. Today, the only ones that are convinced to do so, they are the converters and the battery makers. So what does it tell you? It tells you that the long-term future for lithium and the lithium battery revolution that we are seeing is very strong. And importantly, we have the highest grade and lowest impurities salt flat in Argentina at Hombre Muerto West. We have a large inventory, and this is the beginning of something that we have a plan to 2030. It's important for us to crawl before we walk and then to run. But this is a significant milestone for us to become a producer. We advise that we will be in production next year, so give us 12 months, and potentially will be the only company in production coming up in the lithium sector in the world in 2025. Anyone else that is going to come into production during the same year is because there are delays, but it will be the first one that is planned to come online on 2025. Importantly to the market as well is that whilst we have said yes to Chemphys today, there are several other companies that we said no to. And the broader message again is that the interest for conversion of lithium material remains very strong. Most of these companies are in expansion mode. So when you look at the converters are in expansion mode, the battery makers are in expansion mode because they have to supply lithium to the battery converters. It tells you a story that China is hungry for further feed, and this feedstock, in our view, won't be enough in the long term. So what has to give is price. Price will come back. I cannot tell you exactly when that's going to happen, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, but the medium term remains strong. And by the time we start coming to production, we believe that we'll be in a different pricing environment, and we'll be set to start taking the rewards from all hard work that we've been doing all these years to become a producer. So all in all, whilst today the picture looks a bit grim, the future remains very strong, and we are in a strong position to also look into what's for phase two. Phase two will take us from 5,000 tons to up to 21,000 tons. And that production has not been secure under an offtake agreement with a prepayment. We believe that the permits should be granted before the end of the year or latest early Q1 next year. So we have at Galan a strong position to negotiate once again for selling further lithium. We do have an agreement with the Catamarca government, so we can export our concentrate for a window period that would allow us to have cash flow and get the company into a position that then we can look into add further value when the time comes, and but at a mature level of the company, so we can capture even further value.
So, what was it about Chemphys that made you want to go with them? As you mentioned, you've said no to other companies. So, what was the driving force? Yeah.
Well, it's reputability to start with. We are dealing with a company that has existed for a long time. They are a company that is familiar also with our concentrate, and they've been in Argentina. That's something that we do like. They have investment in other companies in Argentina, and they've been there for a while. I mean, I do interestingly, I know Chemphys from when I started Galan. I'm the company founder, and pretty much like a month into starting Galan, I bumped into Chemphys and start discussing what I was going to do. Forward 5 years, and now we have an MOU understanding for selling concentrate. So in a short period of time, we have gone from an idea to raise money, to be an explorer, to do feasibility studies, to start construction a project, and if all permits, and within 12 months we'll be a producer. So it's been a long journey at a personal level, but in mining terms, this has been very fast. Within 7 years, that's something that we've been able to pull off. And in between, you need to count that COVID hit everyone. So there's Galan is nimble. We have a strong team behind Galan. I would like to also highlight that our team, so our company is nothing without our team and experience. We have a very strong experience from the ex-SQM executives and people that have operated lithium brine operations in Chile for a number of years. So there's no coincidence that we are where we are in terms of the strong team that can deliver. And once we get the funding, we definitely will be able to show to the world that we can come to the market with something simple that is lithium chloride concentrate that in Chemphys eyes is a premium product. We believe it's a premium product, and we have furthermore to deliver onto our phase 2.
So that prepayment facility of $40 million, how will that impact? How is that going to impact the development of the project? Like, what's the timeline that you're looking at? Can you talk a bit more about the progress as well of the project?
Well, we believe that all of this is going to be unfold and sold within this year, and the fund should be within this year as well. And once we get the funding, we'll be able to finalize activities. We approximately 45 to 50% of the project being constructed. We do have an inventory that we announced that we have 30 to 100 tons of lithium carbon equivalent in inventory. So today, we're not going to start from zero. So we're already doing the process. We have announced that we have connected all the wells from central northern Hombre Muerto West. We have drilled more wells that we needed for phase 1. And the reason why we did this is because we have a definitive feasibility study for phase 2. So we're using those wells already to further, we have connected them not long ago, and we have connected those wells into filling our ponds. So we have increased our volume of flow up to 50% furthermore to what we have. We can now increase our weekly inventory approximately up to 150 tons a week. So they're all good news from our end, because we are preparing not only for phase 1, but we are preparing for trying to enable phase 2 as quickly as possible when funds are available. And a way of doing that is by increasing our inventory. So by the time we start production, we'll have way and above the inventory of 5,400 tons that's required for phase 1. And we have indicated that the current state of the ponds, we can get up to 10,000 tons of inventory in our phase in our current ponds. So we have a modular way of doing things. Most of the things that we do not sterilize the growth. So we are very flexible in our approach to do things with a low budget. Today, we are advancing the project at a very low pace because the funds, we are preserving cash. And so we're preserving cash to the point that we're waiting the funding from Chemphys, and then we'll finalize the construction of phase one. So look, it has been a tough road. The market has gone the wrong way, but that happens in mining, and we prepare the best we can. But all in all, the Galan team is very confident that we can be a producer. We have means and ways of increasing our production in the very short period of time. Once we finish phase one, permits are coming up. So yes, things are difficult, but Galan is still convinced that we can do more. And the reason why we have all this drive to be a producer is because we'll be one of the lowest or in the lowest quartile of the cost curve production. So we'll be producing at a very low cost. It does translate that even at the current prices, we'll be one of the few companies out there to produce and make money. So while everyone in spodumene, it's been heard, we're going to be one of the few, and again, to make margins and positive margins. And that's the most important thing for us, is to get the funding, sink the capex, come into production. Bear in mind, our projects are long life. Our DFS 1 and 2, the man of life is 40 years, with very steady flat cost into production. They are unoptimized. We believe that we can optimize this cost and reduce it even further. The CO2 carbon footprint of our project is one of the lowest in the industry as well. So we have a lot of things to show for Galan. We have a long road to go to 2030, but as mentioned, we just need to crawl before we walk. And by the time the market ends, we'll be a producer. And this is what encourages us very much to do the things that we're doing in a bit of turbulent environment, but we believe that we will be successful at doing so.
So for investors that are, looking at Galan and, looking at your project and the prospects for it, what makes Hombre Muerto West a compelling project for you?
Well, in the brine sector, we are the second largest or the second best project in terms of grade. In terms of impurity, is probably one of the cleanest. But size, this is something relevant. We are one of the top 20 lithium resources in the world. Now, if you take the projects in production and in construction, we are number 10. So we are top 10 into the projects coming up into construction and production, and this is very relevant. We don't have a small project. We have the quality that a project requires, and this is value proposition for Galan. While we are the best in market cap, we definitely rank up there as one of the best projects in the world, and this is something that yes, it takes time to show and convince the market that this is where we at, and we are bigger than some even of the newcomers here in Australia in terms of the spodumene. And when you look at this roadmap of projects, who are the ones that are coming next online? They're all Argentine projects, or most of them, they are from Argentina. So by far, there's a pipeline of around 5 or 6 projects coming in Argentina. And the reason being that Argentina is on the world map for lithium is because what I mentioned before, we sit in the first quartile of the cost curve. So when you're going to be investing in lithium, you're going to be looking at what are the cheapest operation or cheapest projects to be in operations in the future. Mainly because what we live in today, we live in a low price environment, and when you face those, you have more of a chance to come out of this big price storm still in production, still making margins, and that's been shown time and time again in the past. And this is not the first lithium cycle. I remember 4 lithium cycles before this, and all lithium brine producers, they all keep being in production. So we'll be one of them, and we look forward to being number 10 as the next lithium producer in terms of world resource.
Well, a long road ahead, but certainly, things are getting starting to look up and look interesting for Galan. Thanks again, JP, for taking the time to speak with me today.
No, thanks very much for it.
And thanks everyone for watching. Join us again next time for another edition of CEO Insights. If you like this video, like or leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive interviews and updates.